Welcome to part 5 of the series, where I cover the phases of project management from initiation all the way to closing a project. If you haven't already watched part 4 on the monitoring phase, highly recommend you check out that video before watching this one, and I'll link it down in the description below. The closing and handoff phase is all about formally ending the project and smoothly transitioning yourself from being the project owner. I'd like to present to you an example project to help you understand the 5 main areas you'll want to have on your radar. Okay, so in this scenario, you are a project manager for a home construction company who has finished building a brand new house for a family. How do you close and hand off this project now? First, you'll want to validate your deliverables. And really what this means is you'll want to confirm with your stakeholders that the deliverables at the end of the project have met their expectations and are accepted by them. In this example with the home build, you'll want to review all the finishes, quality inspections, and any appliances that were included in the house to make sure that the buyers are completely satisfied with the end product. After this review, you'll then want to have some type of formal sign-off to basically say that the project is now complete. Next, you'll want to update all project documentation. Check that any changes through amendments are included in the contract, and ensure that all of your project materials are up to date. So this includes your project management plan, any change logs, risk logs, and open issue logs as well. As the project manager, it is your responsibility to own all of the project documentation. As a good rule of thumb, your teams that may not have been involved should be able to walk through the steps from initiation all the way to closing a project, and from your project documentation, they should be able to see how the end result was obtained. After all project documentation has been updated, you'll then want to transition on that knowledge. If the project is complete and there are no additional steps needed, there's no handoff process to another team, then you'll want to make sure that all of your project information is stored in the appropriate internal repository. Different organizations may have internal databases where they've archived previous projects to reference if needed. In this example, after you've formally completed the project and all documentation has been updated, you'll then want to store that information in your internal database. For instance, if it's a secure Google Drive or something of that nature. In the case, if there is a handoff process to another team, then you'll want to transition that support knowledge. This step typically includes reviewing over any internal documentation with your support teams, going over any lessons learned, and also preparing your teams to be the client-facing counterpart, having training sessions with them, and also introducing them and starting to integrate them more into your client meetings. During the monitoring phase, you'll typically have a couple of months where you're offering more support to your client teams. It's a great opportunity to introduce your long-term support teams and to start building that client relationship with them. If there's not already a process in place in terms of what that long-term support team should be owning, definitely establish that process before you get to that handoff. Okay, and last but not least, you finally have the formal closing of the project. There are a couple of steps and components to this one, but they're all really quick ones. The first of which is end the project. Project's done, you've completed all the deliverables, there's no longer a need for you and your team. With that being said, release your team members. They're all free to work on whatever other assignments they have. You should no longer be holding them accountable to this project. Next step is communicate that the project is closed with all internal and external counterparts. Now that you've formally released your team members, everyone should be aware that this project is completely done. And last but not least, this is not a mandatory step, but I always say celebrate with your teams. Finishing a project is not easy. A lot of times there are roadblocks, and you and your teams have been working together in order to get to this moment. Take the time to celebrate with your teams, to thank them for their hard work, and to fuel them with positive energy for the next projects. So that concludes the main steps for the closing and handoff phase of the project. This phase requires clear communication to all stakeholders and a final review of all project documentation as the project manager ensures the project is formally accepted and closed. Comment below your lessons learned from the closing phase of a project, and comment below if you have any questions. Thank you for watching this 5-part series. I hope you found these videos helpful, and we'll catch you all in the next video.